I have one more, Journaling by Fives, where I did the cover and chat. And I want to go to the comments, and I'm going to cover these comments, and then I'm going to come back and do some replies and say I replied to this in a video. So I found this conversation very interesting. Here's Marianne leaving a comment and Kathy Rose responding to her, and Marianne responding back to Kathy Rose. This is what I like to see happening in comments. Rather than somebody praising my art and me saying thank you, this is two people talking about techniques and glitter techniques, and I'm learning from it. So thank you both, Marianne and Kathy. I'm going to read through these really fast. Marianne says, "Oh, Mary, I agree with everyone else. The cover looks marvelous. I love how you did the hinges too, and using duct tape and elastic closure. I use glitter all the time. When I finish brushing the glitter after it dries, then I put on a light coating of sealer, like light gloss, over the glitter parts. No more flying glitter. When I want glitter on the background, I put a thin coat of sealer on the background lightly." And I find this to be very interesting. I'm going to try this. She puts the sealer on first and then puts the glitter on, such as when I put my paint on. My paint was really my, in quotes, sealer. But I like the idea of putting a sealer, put the paint on, put the sealer on, and then put the glitter on. So I may try that on my next 10 pages. When it dries, the glitter stays put. For things like crowns, snowflakes, I mix the glitter with the sealer and paint it on. It works like a charm. And I like that technique here. So see, Marianne has given us two techniques for someone who obviously enjoys texture and glitter. So this is what, when you read comments, this is what to look for. There are talented people out there giving good comments on videos and good advice and good hints. So glitter paint is good too, but I'm a freak for glitter, and the paint doesn't hold enough for me. That's a good point. Thank you, Marianne. And so Kathy Rose says, "Marianne, sometimes I seal my project after using glitter. I use hairspray for the sealer. Both glitter and pastels. I buy the cheap Aquanet. Works great because it's sticky and dries hard. After all, it held my beehive hairdo in the 60s. That is so funny. Aquanet gets a bad rap for the beehive hairdos, but hey, it is what it is. We used Aquanet I went to college in the late 60s, early 70s, and we did use Aquanet on our drawings as a sealer because we were college students and we needed cheap alternatives. We did not have professional artist budgets. If you're doing art, professional art, buy a nice sealer. Buy something that's acid free. That especially if you're going to sell it or if you're working on a commission. Aquanet, I think I've heard a lot of, there's the dispute out there that it has oils in it and the acid, and I don't know. If I seal my pages, I've been using Spectrafix, especially if I'm just doing watercolor or maybe watercolor pencil. If I'm doing something heavier, I do use Krylon 1311. Some people use a Krylon workable fixative. I don't traditionally use that. I go for the 1311. So, and then Marianne is responding back. She says, "Oh, Kathy, would you believe I have a can of Aquanet in my craft supply cover? I use it for chalks, but I never thought of using it on glitter projects." I think this TYFS means thank you for sharing this with me. I really got a kick out of the beehive hairdo in the 60s comment. Oh, the memories. Good times for sure. Yeah, good times. So these are the type of comments that I like to read because I learn from them, and I like to see two of my viewers chatting back and forth. Fun for me. Chichita Green. Mary, your cover turned out beautiful. The touches of gold just make it. Oh, I love that gold. The paper looked like weathered leather to me. I love the effect of the terracotta spray gave it. I do too. I have that terracotta spray. I bought it at a quilt shop. And I love what it's doing on my page. It is water soluble, so I did have to seal it, and I sealed it with Krylon 1311. I do want to put a glaze over it because I find that the glaze on the cover does add just a little bit more of a leathery effect. It holds it, it seals it. I can't wait to see the paintings after you finish the pen and ink. They already look great. I'm anxious to see you doing the faces. Please do a process video so that we can watch you get the effects that you want. I do want to slow down maybe on some of these faces and do maybe just a segment where I do a slow one. I tried that before, and I just not quite there doing it yet. My feeling is my videos are not tutorials. I feel like there are talented teachers and artists on YouTube who share really good information. It's not always the way I do things, but I can't even come close to some of the people that are teaching. So I tend to shy away from saying this is a tutorial and this is how you should do it. But on the other hand, I don't want everything to be really fast forward videos. Everything I tend to go that way because I don't want to bore everybody with with 3 hours of drawing, because I do think people are not going to sit there for 3 hours and watch you. If you're chattering in the background, they might sit and listen to you while they're doing their own art if they like the sound of your voice. So I'm going back and forth on that, but I will try to slow down. I will try to slow down when I work on some of these faces, or maybe even just bring out a segment and say this is how I did this face, and do it in real time. So that's a good comment, Chit-Chat. I do appreciate it. I think it was wonderful that you took Shannon's idea for journaling and made it your own. There's that made it your own comment again. Thank you very much. Now it's fantastic art journal that you can be proud of. I've enjoyed watching you bring the people in the pictures to life. And I think about how I felt when you painted that little girl's picture in the mirror. You know, I'm going to do that again. I'm coming to that video. We'll comment when I get there. Thank you, Mary, for sharing this wonderful journal with us. Well, thank you everyone for watching. That's all I can say. And taking the time to type a big comment like this just encourages me so much. Mary W. You always come up with novel way to do things. Well, not always, but I seem to wander into things, don't I? The hinges made by stenciling are really wonderful, and I will definitely use this idea in the future. Yeah, that was fun. I kind of wandered into that technique off of a tag that I was doing last year. The black duct tape looks really good with the cover and the insides. I have to report back on the pennies enclosed in the glossy accents and crackle accents. Miriam is commenting on a video that I showed a few weeks ago about a tag that I made last year where I just used weld bond glue to make a tag shape. And like I have a gallon of weld bond glue, and I put it on some wax paper, and then I embedded objects into it. I wanted to see if it would hold it. And Mary picked this technique up, and she was going to try it with crackle accents and glossy accents. And she's commenting back on how that turned out. She says, I have to report back that the pennies enclosed in glossy accents and crackle accents. The crackle accents shatters easily, so I reapplied glossy accents over the top. I waited for it to dry and then glossed the back to seal the crackle insides. It is now sturdy, so I want to try that. But it took too much media to do again, and that's why I did the weld bond glue, because I had a gallon of it. Some resin would have worked better, and I agree. I think resin is the way to go, and I am not a resin person, but I very much want to experiment with it. So I may be taking your comment here and flying with it in another project. At least I learned, and that's the good thing. Learning and trying and experimenting is where we're at. The glossy accents over new nickel tarnished the nickel on the inside. Isn't that interesting? In with the old. Yeah, my vision of a silicone-like tag is not going to happen, but at least I know. At least we know. And thank you for reporting back on that, Mary. I'm still inspired by what you did, and I think I want to do more of that. And here's Shannon. She says, stunning cover, Mary. Well, thank you, Shannon. I do appreciate your comments. I know how many videos you have responded to, and I find it amazing. Kathy Rose Creations. Love the way the cover turned out. You're just like me. You can never go wrong with duct tape. We love it, don't we, Kathy? It can fix just about anything. Yeah, duct tape. We got a lot to explore with that product yet. Ross Willoughby. Your cover looks great, Mary. Thank you, Ross. Carol M. Your cover is lovely. Everything has an old world vintage feel to it. Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. I am enjoying, I think the black and white photos have inspired that. And I made copies of some old pictures that I have, so I'm not really using the originals. And it's really fun to play with this. I like how you did the hinges. I'll have to remember that. Thank you, Carol. Sharon Lubecker, your journal is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Sharon, for... did I say Cheryl Lubecker? I mean Sharon Lubecker. Thank you for commenting on and watching my video. I appreciate it. Tammy Ward, this is turning out so beautiful. I cannot wait to see what is next. Tammy, I can't wait to see what is next too. Ella Connor says, I like the cover, Mary. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Ella. I really do appreciate people watching my videos and leaving comments. Thank you for coming and watching. Karen Salos. Karen. Look at this. See how these have replies to the comments on here? Look at Karen's. There's no reply button. And I think this is because when she set up her Google Plus, in her options, if she goes to Google Plus and looks at her options, explores her options, you'll see where you can make your comments private, where nobody can reply to them. So first of all, I want to say to Karen here, thank you so much for all the wonderful comments that you've left on my videos. I have seen them. I appreciate them. I'm so frustrated that there's no reply button for me to reply to them. But maybe now, if I'm doing it verbally, I can include you and my replies to your comments verbally. Let me say, Karen, thank you so much for all your comments on my videos. Mona Ray, your journal is beautiful. Well, thank you, Mona. And you do beautiful work, too. I so enjoy seeing what you post. Mona leaves a lot of posts on the Crazy Island Family group, and she had been sharing last year all of her wonderful, wonderful watercolor sketches, and I have enjoyed those so much. Anne Brockman, looks good, Mary. Well, thank you, Anne. And Anne is another person who has traditionally left a lot of really encouraging comments on my videos. So I'm going to quit with these. This is where I am at. I have more to do on my journaling by fives art journal. I'm certainly not done by any sense of the word, but here I am. This is my cover. I have 10 pages where I need to do stenciling and stamping, and then I'm going to go in with my pen work, and believe it or not, this journal is going to be finished, and as I said before, no way would I have completed a 40-page journal, complete with the cover, in a month. It would traditionally take me a year, and knowing Mary, it may be unfinished for life. So journaling by fives has very much inspired me. So I would like to know if the viewers of my channel have liked a verbal response to comments. And I'm trying to talk fast to get through them, but I don't want to bore you either. So I'd just like to know if you like a verbal response to comments, or if you would rather me type them in. I'm going to try this experiment for the next few videos, maybe for a month or so. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. I've had a lot of fun doing this. I like to go out and read, and I feel like I'm talking to each one of you personally. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next page.